like I've been making beats for since 2005, and so this is something that I've been able to somewhat master. When I took over the label, it was a whole new skill set that I had to learn. Like something as simple as what he said, something as simple as like the labels, the coloring, knowing that I can't put 30 minutes of music on one side, stuff that you just do not know unless you have a label. Having relationships with pressing plants, knowing how to lay out albums, like the simplest, like when you run a label, it's like the simplest, minute, like keeping up with postal prices, keeping up with tariffs. Am I lying, A1? Like it's so
absolutely
much crap.
right.
Because you will lose your shirt just literally putting the wrong shipping. You done gave out an album because you put out the wrong shipping.
Yup. Better get that scale. It's like selling dope.
It's a totally different skill.
It's the Almanac of Rap show. I got opinions and they all factual. No news, just information that you won't be able to use unless you're at a dinner party trying to impress who's in attendance with endless tidbits of nonsense. We're gonna have a good time, I promise. YouTube rabbit holes, Reddit deep dives, pulling out old interviews from the archives. Styles, fads, trends, all of that. It's the Almanac of Rap.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Almanac of Rap. I'm your host, Donwill, and today I have two guests. They're both artists and label owners. Joe Myles is half of the other guys and the owner of HipNott Records, a label that calls home to artists like Skyzoo, Shay Noir, and my group, Tanya Morgan. What up, Von P? Our other guest is Awon. He runs a label called Don't Sleep, and it's home to artists like Phonics, Tiff the Gift, D-Flow, and himself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Awon and Joe.
Peace. What up, y'all?
So you came to my attention by way of Joe, actually. Like I think it was a conversation with Joe about you guys working together, and you know, me and Joe, we talk fairly regularly about music and other stuff. And when he brought you up, I was like, let me just do some Googles. And I'm pretty sure I was aware of you before Joe brought you up because I do recognize artists like Aunt Lily and other people that were in Phonics and other people like on your label. But just for me, how did you two meet? Like, how did you two come into contact?
I came into the DMV up this way, and once I became a resident and Joe knew, he reached out. Our connection is substantial.
Hey, substantial. That's my guy, man.
Yeah. He's the homie, and I started working with him, and Joe and Substantial have a relationship. And just one day out the blue, Joe hit me up like, "Yo, let's work." And we worked on a track called Celebration. And it was a banger, and we did a video and everything. And that was like 6-7 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
Probably about, yeah. So
crazy how time moves.
Yeah, it moved by real quick. And we've been knowing each other for that long. So it's we've been in contact, I would say, just back and forth doing music, linking up every couple of years, doing the track here and there. And we had been trying to work, and we just locked in now.
So y'all's first collaboration was more like a pandemic product, one of those things. It came out around 2020?
Actually, right before.
It was like we got lucky. It was like right before.
Yeah, we were able to do the video and everything. Then the pandemic hit, and the world stopped for that moment.
All right, and Joe, I know you're not like a do shows type of dude. You're more like background for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
But Antoine, when that came out, like around that time, were you doing shows?
I had been doing shows for a very long time. So I started touring in like 2016, but even before then, just paying dues in America. But I've been going back and forth to Europe since 2016.
I know your touring resume is heavy. I meant more or less like, did the pandemic slow down your shows? Like were you affected by it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We had a whole tour set up actually, and it was down to the wire. And we was sitting back watching the news, watching the cancellations, and just waiting for the promoters to start dropping out. And I mean, it was so crazy that they were gracious enough to be like, hey, keep all the deposits, man.
Oh, wow.
It is what it is, you know. We sent back a lot of bread anyway, just to keep the relationship. And soon as things cleared up, we was back on the road.
Word. And then, so, that was y'all's first collaboration in 2020. Fast forward to now, you got a new project, Solidified, coming out. I know you guys were aware of one another, but how did you decide to formalize it as a whole album, Joe?
We've been talking about it, honestly, probably since we met, but it's just schedule-wise, it just it wasn't working out just time-wise. We'd actually done, I think 2 singles, actually.
Yeah.
And then finally, things slowed down on his end a little bit. Things slowed down on my end. I was like, yo, it's time. It's definitely time. We live 30 to 40 minutes away from each other. So it was just perfect.
So I'm pretty close to your situation, Joe. Like, I know how the label operates. I don't know fully how it operates, but I know like scheduling and whatnot and artists releasing. On your side, A1, like how busy is it? Like how easy is it to manage the workflow of different artists and releases?
The last quarter of 2025 was real busy. We had 4 vinyl releases. So
last quarter 4?
Yes. So there's not all.
Hold up. For the listeners out there, we're talking to a person that runs a label pretty much. I mean, I'm sure you have other people within the organization, but it's pretty much like, very indie. So 4 vinyl releases in a quarter. A quarter is like 3-4 months. I want you guys to imagine dealing with 5 to 6 Amazon returns on your own with your work schedule. Now, multiply that times 250 boxes or so. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a wild time. It was fruitful, but it was busy. And then there was some delays in one of the records, which was frustrating. So it could get real hectic at times because we have to coordinate the release, the layouts, the artwork, the design, then the logistics, who is going to, and we don't have a distributor. We self-distribute. So we built all those relationships on our own directly.
Hats off to you, man. Kudos. That's impressive.
Appreciate it.
Like the ground that Don't Sleep covers, and me dealing with distributors and stuff on my own. Like, I understand how helpful they can be, but I also understand how much more impactful and solid it is to have those relationships on your own. So the real question is, whose label is Solidified coming out on?
That's a collab, but
a label collab.
Yeah, underground collab. But HipNott is facilitating the release because again, we just came off doing 4 records, and it was intense, and it's hard to ask people to buy another record when one of them was late. So we try to be mindful of the energy we put out there, and I always echo DMX in my mind. Y'all been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy. Yeah.
Well, like based on that sort of schedule, it's sort of like a soft subscription service where, you don't want to exhaust your consumer base. You don't want to make them like cough up another $30 when they just did it and they're in a rotation and routine with it's a relationship like you were saying. But something that I think is really cool is it's rare you see 2 labels collaborate in this sort of way.
Yeah, and that was part of the draw as well, Don. It was just like, we are facilitating it, HipNott is, but it's still a Don't Sleep HipNott collaboration as well. And I thought it was dope, just 2 CEOs. You know what I mean?
You don't really see that much without it being like some sort of contention or concessions made or like, you know what I'm saying? This feels like in essence 2 artists collaborating more than 2 labels collaborating, which I think is something that's a testament to you both being indie run labels that you can move like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's true. I think it is rare. Part of the reason why we've been able to keep in contact so much is because I'm always hitting him up for advice, like always. And he gives me game that most people are afraid. Unfortunately, they're afraid or they feel like there's some type of competition aspect to it. But constantly giving out free game. So that's how we've been able to actually, develop our relationship and keep in contact.
To quote A1, quoting DMX, they been eating long enough. They should stop being greedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, for sure.
Have you been running Don't Sleep longer than Joe's been running HipNott?
It depends on we started in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, you got me there. Because I bought HipNott from Kevin in 18, but I really was doing my own thing in 17, so around 17, 18.
Okay, I was just asking because you said he gives you game, so I was like, I was trying to figure out the dynamic,
No, definitely like a mentor dynamic, 100%.
Yeah, that's so dope that like, I understand there are trade secrets and there are things that you want to withhold and gatekeep for, yourself, a lot of people. But I think that for what hip hop is and for trying to get a foothold on a market share, it's better to share this sort of information because you're going to be stronger together.
Absolutely.
Like, what I'm saying? If you look at these indie labels like a farmer's market, like you can't have a farmer's market with just one booth. You got to have a couple.
That's a good analogy. I never thought of that. That's very true. And ultimately, at the risk of sounding corny, I'm just trying to push the culture forward, and I think he's doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
So my question is for both of you guys, you can pick whoever wants to answer first, is what inspired you to want to run a label as opposed to just find a deal or get signed?
I think the answer might be the same. I knew that Phonics and I had a chemistry, and the people that I was working with, from Tiff the Gift, Anti-Lily, Death Flow, all of the crew, even Peeps the Prophet, that we would continue our collaborations together long term. So we needed an umbrella, and it was obviously time to start a boutique label and do it ourselves. We started very DIY, just kind of figuring it out. And I look at music like real estate. So at first, when you just getting in, you're subleasing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got none of your shit together. You know what I mean? You really just subleasing. Somebody else's kind of putting it all together, and you're under their wing. The next step would be your renting, your leasing, and the final step would be ownership and intellectual property. When you look at it from the standpoint of each body of work, it's its own engine, it's its own building. You know what I mean? That eventually is going to add revenue to your portfolio. So when you own a bunch of buildings, you know what I mean? Those little slices and that little money starts to add up to be a big pie, and ownership is important. There's a lot of artists that exceed what we've all done in terms of popularity, visibility, numbers, sales, and everything. But because they haven't surpassed that step of subleasing or even renting and leasing, they don't gain as much share. So they still have to work regular jobs in order to sustain themselves. You know what I mean? They might have a glowing catalog, but it's too many hands on their catalog. So I figured, let's own our music, in that way we can eat by having with less output. You know what I mean? So there's no middleman at all. We wanted to cut out every hand except for our own in the process of our music, from creation to facilitating the release and distributing it all over the world.
Okay. I don't know if you wanted to add on, Joe.
Well, you were there for when we wound up purchasing HipNott from Kevin Nottingham. But it was more so for me to piggyback on what A1 just said. It was definitely that part of that, but mainly a lot of the artists that was at HipNott was already kind of established and already had an audience there, and so it was basically like with him leaving and him basically saying that he's given up on the business or what have you. I felt like no one was going to have a home. You know what I mean? And I felt, no one was going to have a home. A few of the artists, they were just great artists, man. They just wanted to do their art and release it. And I also wanted us to kind of be the hub for things that I'm a fan of, but I don't hear enough of. And I knew that at the time, I knew I had the resources to be because I don't know if you remember, but Kevin, he sent out an email and was basically like, yo, if anybody wanted to take over it, here's your opportunity. Do you remember that?
I vaguely remember that email.
Yeah. He sent out an email, and I probably sat on it for like a month or two, just deciding. And that was ultimately like my decision. Just like, yo, this is what we're doing is like what I love, and I don't hear enough of it. Like, you got different independent labels and things like that, but none of them were quite doing what we were doing, particularly us and Tanya Morgan. And so, honestly, the reason why, and I've said this before in post, the reason why I honestly took over HipNott is to release me, you, and Von's music. And then Rob Cave.
Just on record, I want to salute you for making sure that, you know, those projects had a home and they didn't fall by the wayside, because I've seen a lot of indie labels kind of fold, and the catalogs and products and artists just, you don't know where they're at anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But within that, where does the level of business acumen come from? Like, is this something that was ingrained? Is it something that was part of a previous hustle? Because the way you talk, A1, and from what I've seen of you, Joe, you both embody the label owner role in a way that, you know, it feels natural. It feels almost as natural as like me hearing you rhyme, A1, and it feels as natural as you making a beat, Joe. Like, how did the business acumen fall into place?
Well, I don't know about A1, but for me, it was honestly a lot of learning as you go. Like, the first year or two, man, I made some horrible financial decisions, man.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I mean, I may make you do that.
No. You're funny. No, not just, I would do things differently. Not the releases. It's funny because you know some of the stuff I'm talking about. Not the releases, just the way things I would spend money on would be a lot differently now. And after a while, you start to kind of learn the structure. You know, you can't say. One of the hardest things for me, especially even recently, is saying yes and no to everything. You can't do it. You got to learn to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
that's the hardest part. Is like some people, artists will tell you, yo, I want 99.5% of just like, what am I supposed to get? So yeah, it's definitely learning as you go. I learned a lot from A1. I've learned a lot of things from you, and just you know, A1 may have been a little sharper going into it, but for me, I definitely went into it on some for the love, you know. So.
Yeah. You backed into it, but you came out, you found the light switch, you know what I'm saying? A1 though, like what was your experience coming into it?
So my introduction to hip hop was back in 2008, and there was a lot of transparency in my initial deal. And my deal was a licensing deal. So in reading through the contract and everything, and I understood that I would make way more doing this contract, this licensing deal, than I would be actually signing to a label, because I retain ownership. In fact, the label encouraged me to release my album in America on my own, however I wanted to, alongside them only taking care of the Japanese territory. That was it. They only wanted Japan. And they gave me a great amount of money. And I said, wow. And I mean, this is way back, like MySpace. They found me on MySpace.
Yeah, back when like you can get like a white label deal damn near, get like a Jazzy Sport or somebody to do.
Absolutely. You familiar with Jazzy Sport. So I was I
wanted an album of Jazzy Sport so bad, man.
I was on Goon Tracks, and there was another label what Stan was on was Hideout. So there was a couple labels in Japan that were just throwing out money, giving deals, and they were very transparent. They gave me my price for features and everything. Like, they were so cool. So I said, I'm never signing a record deal, because I had a contract 2 years prior to me doing that, and it was in America, and it was with an indie label, and my dad read it, and you know, they was gonna give me $100 up front, and it was for 5 years. And my dad was like, you make more money than this now. He was like, yeah, that's $20,000 a year. He was like, man, he said, you young, you gonna buy a car and some dumb jewelry, and then you're gonna be broke, and you still gonna have to record this album, and you're gonna be in debt to these people. And he was like, they seem unsavory, so he was like, don't do it. So learning through that helped me see that independence was the way. So since then, I've been kind of just putting out my own work because I saw like retaining your rights and having that freedom gives you way more money and way more freedom in the long run. So I never wanted to pursue anything else but do things this way.
Have you learned anything about being an artist from running a label or vice versa? Like, what are some ways that running a label has trickled into your artistry?
Well, I would say that my artistry is how I run a label because you have to be just as passionate about the way that you facilitate a release as you are at making it. So, the sensibilities from things that are in my life, like record collecting and crate digging culture, goes into the way that we package and make sure that the releases have catalog numbers, and you take little things from labels that you admire. Like, I always wanted to make a record label that when people look at the center label or they look at the spine, they already know what's up. When they see the label logo on it, they know what's up. So that was our goal, to create something like that. And harkening back to the era of Blue Note, Stax Records, and what Stone's Throw was doing in the early 2000s, respected it a lot. So that's what we do. And that's just my preference on how to do releases. Down the colorway, that comes through streetwear and love and sneaker culture, thinking about story, product story, adding that to the whole package. That's just all passions of mine that trickle in from the artistry to the running of the label. And that's why I call it a boutique label. It's underground hip hop, but it's very boutique. It's very tuned and dialed into my taste and Phonics's taste.
So I have a random question that I just thought of when you were talking about that. The OB strip. For people listening who don't know what an OB strip is, it's like a band of paper that's wrapped around the outside sleeve of an album or record. What is the functional purpose of that thing? Is it just to look good, or is it like, does it serve some sort of like collecting purpose or something?
It definitely serves a purpose. It's so people in the Japanese market can read what the title is, so they know whose album it is, they know the title, they know how much it costs. Because while many people speak English as a second language, a lot of people don't necessarily read English. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just, when you're in Asia, it just puts you in the Japanese market, which they buy records, they collect. And when you have that OB strip, you're guaranteed to have more sales coming from Japan for sure.
Man, he just gave me game, Joe. I see why you hit this dude up a lot, man.
What?
I was thinking the OB strip was just something to be cute. I had no idea.
For some people, they think that it is, but you have to really make sure that OB strip says what it's supposed to say, so that people can read it, because English is a hard language for a lot of people in Asia, and you just want to make sure they understand what they're buying, so record stores can place your record in the right place, and it looks cool, but at the same time, it does serve a purpose. Do you want customers in Japan? Do it.
Yeah, bro. A1 can teach a course, bro. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. A1 and the other guys, you know what I'm saying? Overdue like the bills, Check it. Waking up for work, so I just got paid. Tucking in my shirt, cause I just got laid. Blue collar dollar, so I had to notice the extra.
All right, so my next question is, you both are label owners. So that means you sign artists every now and then occasionally. I want to give you a couple options of people to sign. I'm going to ask you first, Joe. The first pairing is for you. You got to pick between these two artists and tell me who you're trying to sign and why.
Okay.
All right. Would you rather sign Method Man or Redman?
Probably Meth.
Why Meth over Red? Like current day Meth. I'm not talking about 94 Meth. I'm talking about 2026 Meth or 2026 Red.
Oh yeah. Well, that's different.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Red's more active. I feel like rap wise, isn't he?
Red is definitely more active.
Red, yeah, so probably Red. Okay, so I'm thinking you're talking 1994 because 94, Method Man had the ladies and the dudes. I'm like, so that's the skills right there.
Yeah. I mean, he still got the ladies and the dudes.
He don't rap as much.
Yeah,
in 94, I would have signed Meth. Now I would sign Red because I know I'm gonna get some work.
Word. And you get like a full album's worth of videos out of Redman.
100%.
Redman is shooting videos for every song on his album.
Yeah.
With his phone.
100%.
Yeah. All right, A1, you up next.
Let's go.
Don't Sleep has an option to either sign Pusha T or Malice.
Ooh. Oh, that's difficult. I'm gonna go unconventional, and I'm gonna go with Malice because.
Oh man.
Because Malice has a lot of sensibilities where he uses, as an MC, he uses time and space. And when you use time and space, that's elite because it's very difficult to use time and space. So it's not just the bars, it's how he delivers them. And he allows you to absorb what he said. And you're like, oh, immediately. Where Pusha T is, his flow is steady. So you have to like sit with it and you're like, oh, after the fact. But with Malice, it's like every bar you get to absorb it because of his pacing. His pacing is like a boxer that's just jabbing you. Then he hits you with that, cross, boom. And then, jabbing you. Then he hits you with a hook. So very mature, very monotone, very guru-esque, but consistent.
Yeah. Guru-esque is a good one.
Yeah.
So I won't say Malice is underrated because that would be a lie, but I will say Malice being next to Pusha T is just proof that Malice is like top tier.
Yes.
All right. Joe, this was for you. This is a tough one, man.
Oh man, I can hear it in your voice. So there's gonna be some mess with it. Go ahead.
You got to pick between two phenomenal MCs, Donwill or Von P. Who you sign?
What's that? I'll take the shot. Go ahead.
You can just say Tanya Morgan. It's good.
Was that a real question? Are you crazy?
I'm just fucking with
Never.
you. The real one is Mos Def or Talib Kweli.
Oh God, man.
And again, it's the caveat of 2026 Mos Def and Kweli, not the early days of Black Star.
Now, probably Talib.
Yeah.
But I was a man. I was a huge Mos Def fan, bro.
I say this all the time. The Ecstatic is the album of the year every year. It don't matter what year.
Yes.
That album is one of the best albums of all time.
Yes. I need to find that. I need to get that on wax. That's an amazing record.
It's not on streams no more.
It's not. It's not.
He doesn't.
It's amazing.
So this is why you picking Talib Kweli was the right choice, because Mos Def ain't gonna put an album on streaming. I mean, he's not gonna let you put an album on streaming. Furthermore, it's gonna have to be on his terms in a way that's prohibitive to like earning things as a label. The way he's moving is brilliant on some art shit, but in terms of like working with a label, I think his days of working with a traditional label are over. You know
I agree with you. That's why I made the choice 100%.
Yeah,
For sure.
All right, A1, you got the final pick. We got to do this one for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? So TDE is clearing out their roster, and they want to know: do you want to have Doechii or SZA?
Ooh, I'm going with Doechii. I'm going with Doechii.
Yeah.
Doechii is multi-hyphenate. She is amazing MC, but she also showcased her chops as a crooner on Anxiety. And my daughter loves that song. And I think that we haven't seen anything yet from her. I think that it's going to go further. So I would definitely go with Doechii. I love SZA, but SZA is a singer, and that's what she's going to give you. We all know, but I think Doechii has a few more surprises for us.
Doechii definitely, she's at the beginning of her journey.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The beginning of her popular mainstream journey. She's been working and getting at it for a minute, but we're just starting to see what she was capable of. You know what I'm saying? But you mentioned your daughter.
Yes.
And Joe, you have a family too. You have a wife.
Yeah.
I want to know how you guys balance everything. Like you balance running a label, being an artist, and having a family. Like what does that balance look like for you, Joe?
I just got good at it, but what helps is someone being married to someone who is a supporter and a lover of music. I've seen it where artists have gotten with people who weren't into art or music, and it's totally different.
Career suicide, brother. Yeah. That's what that is.
I usually have a cutoff time, like so 8 p.m. I'm like done with everything for the most part. I mean, outside of a text or something, somebody send me a mix, but like as far as the studio and like actively working, like 8 p.m. is like that's like the prime time or whatever.
Yeah, because you know, content be lying, man. When I'm on Instagram, I might see your post at like 10 p.m. and it's like a beat being made, and I'm like, oh, this nigga Joe cooking 24 hours a day.
Sometimes, like if she's like sleep or what have you, or something's going on, but I definitely try to like take time, especially like if I'm home all day or what have you. I'll try to take time to attend to her. Like and as you know, I just had a daughter.
Congratulations,
brand new daughter. Even with that, it's just like I have a certain amount of time that I even have a timer right here.
I love it.
Yeah. So like I try to get like 2 or 3 hours in the studio. Unfortunately, the phone is especially lately, the phone is crazy. So I don't have much control of that, but try to balance as much as you can, whatever that is.
Yeah, business is booming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For me, man, I usually run the label off the phone. Everything that I'm doing, is in my pocket. It's like an office. So every conversation is on my phone. So it doesn't take me away much. And when I'm recording, I've been recording my whole adult life. So it doesn't take me long to record. I could spend maybe 3 hours a day, and I might knock out 3 records, 4 records in that 3 hour span. And I come back to them and tweak them. So, I also second the fact that having a partner, having a wife that's supportive, that understands exactly what you're doing. Because my wife, Tiff, is an MC as well, and been making music just as long as I have, but she understands what it is. The only hurdles are touring. Touring is difficult, you know what I'm saying? Because touring, I have to take her away from whatever it is she's doing. And, you don't never want to stop nobody paper to go get some money. So it has to be worth it for me to get up and go now. But just day-to-day operations, I'm running everything off the phone. So it ain't really taking much time away from anything.
Okay, yeah. That was actually one of the questions I had was just supportive spouses and how that helps to manage, because I know like Joe, I know that your wife helps with like admin stuff,
bro, shipping, everything, bro. She helps with everything except the beats, man. So
and she's probably told you something to sample before on the slide, like, yeah, you should flip that.
Yeah, sometimes she played for North Carolina A&T's band, so she helps with that too sometimes. So yeah,
we're all what I would consider to be middle class artists, in that it's like working man stuff. Like we have our hands in all the pots. We're doing things, and we're making sure that they're done the way that we need them to be done in order for them to, to meet our expectations and standards. My question for both of you is, coming from the artist side of things and moving into running your own labels, do you think that more artists should manage their affairs and like run their labels, or do you think that is one of those things where like you gotta have the passion for it, or like,
I think you gotta be passionate. You gotta have the passion 100%. For it. It's not gonna work for you if this is not what you want to do. Unfortunately, some people need direction in order to stay on track. Other times, sometimes people's life is just too complex. They have a gig that they're not going to give up for their art. Mm-hmm. A lot of MCs make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Outside of MCing, they might have a great job. They might be moonlighting in corporate America. Nobody's going to give that up to just focus full time on hip hop. And when you do have the luxury of being able to focus on hip hop full time, it's a blessing, but that blessing comes with being passionate and making sure that it is exactly what you want to do, because it's boring. And you know what I mean? When you talking to the pressing plan about bleeds and, you know, the template not being right, that's, I mean, you know, you reading invoices and stuff, that's part of it too. It's not all like, yeah, we getting to do this and go ahead and shoot videos and put out records. It sounds more glamorous than it really is, but it's really a blue collar position, and it's got a lot of love behind it. I view it like owning a record store. It's in the same vein, or owning a restaurant. You know what I mean? That's a small business. So if that's not your thing, then don't do this.
It's definitely two sides of your brain. It's totally separate. Also, it's a separate skill. Like, I've been making beats since 2005, and so this is something that I've been able to somewhat master. When I took over the label, it was a whole new skill set that I had to learn. Like, something as simple as what he said, something as simple as like the labels, the coloring, knowing that I can't put 30 minutes of music on one side, stuff that you just do not know unless you have a label. Having relationships with pressing plants, knowing how to lay out albums, like the simplest, like when you run a label, it's like the simplest, minute, like keeping up with postal prices, keeping up with tariffs. Am I lying, A1? Like, it's so
absolutely
much crap.
Right.
Because you will lose your shirt just literally putting the wrong shipping. You done gave out an album because you put out the wrong shipping.
Yep. Yeah. Better get that scale. It's like selling dope.
It's a totally different skill. Yeah. 100%.
You are preaching. Like, I dipped my toe in. I pressed up some vinyl and sold it and did all that shit. It was fun, but fun in a way I knew I wasn't going to make money. I knew I was going to either break even or lose money, and I was fine with that. But yeah, that shipping thing, that happened to me one time where I had to pay $40 to send somebody my album. It was so upsetting.
Yeah.
But I will say that as an artist who looks at who enjoys the process a lot of times, who makes what he considers to be art, like, there was nothing like getting the test press back, like proofs of the artwork, like assembling like that sort of thing is like a high. It feels so good to see. Like, as an artist, my dream was always to be on wax and get reviews and shit. So like, to be holding a piece of vinyl that I made was such a crazy feeling. So I can only imagine what it's like to get to do that over and over again for artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely it's cool. But like I said, it can be stressful because don't have a bestseller or something that's going crazy, bro. It's like a blessing. Like, you're so grateful that these people are picking it up, but you get so anxious just looking at like tons and tons and tons of boxes. You know what I mean? So you've came before.
You know, you're about 2 years off from having a warehouse.
Man,
it's coming.
I receive it.
And another trend, it's a trend that is recurring, is artists moving into this jazz space. Like, artists like Queen Latifah's did a jazz album before, Andre 3000, Juicy J and Logic just did a jazzy hip hop album. My question about this is, what are some of your favorite hip hop meets jazz moments?
I heard someone say this. I want to say it was either Robert Glasper or Terrence Martin. Jazz is not a style of music. It's how you play. It's how you make it. It's a feeling. So my favorite jazz meets hip hop vibe comes with Tribe. That's when I was first introduced to it. You know what I mean? Like, they did it the right way. They introduced us to a whole new world, and It was funky, it was jazzy, and it was authentically jazz rap at its pinnacle. And I will also say both efforts from the Diggable Planets. Their first two albums are quintessential. Modern rap meets jazz. I have to actually, I would say, look at cats' record collections to see if they really about that life, because I think that some of these things are a way of pandering to a certain audience that spends money. You see what I'm saying? So they see
Yeah.
the disposable income of a certain demographic, and they like, yo, we got to make that type of music. You know what I'm saying? So some of it is marketing, but
Yeah.
if you really talking jazz rap and what it is, you go to the roots, you go Gangstar, and Guru's series of Jasmine Taz, and cats like that. That's where it really spans from. You know what I'm saying? For me.
Are there any, like, sort of in a fantasy football way, the same as the who would you like to sign type of question? Are there any artists who you would like to see dabble in that world?
That's a good question. I think with the success that he has with Madlib, I think that Freddie Gibbs would be very
That's what I'm about to say.
would be very interesting. I mean, he's already done the Tiny Desk with L. Michaels or L. Michelle's affair, however you pronounce it, and I think that
Yeah.
showed that he has the chops for it. A full on album would be great. I think that, and there's no disrespect to the work with Alchemist. I think that the work with Alchemist is great, but it's not quite as refined as what Madlib was doing for him. But a focused Madlib, like the like Madlib meets jazz, like the Madlib meets the Blue Note Records type vibe with Freddie, could be incredible just for the contrast and the raspiness of his voice and the pain in his voice with the elegance of the production. That'll be a perfect match, in my opinion.
And that flow, bro, that his flow over some jazz, and then those patterns and stuff that he can come up with. Yeah, that was my choice too. It was crazy.
And both of you guys, your musicality, you're sample based artists. Like, like you flip shit. My question is on some more fantasy football shit. If you could buy one artist catalog to sample from, who would it be? Like if you could just get in there, get the stems, get the sessions.
Oh, for me, that's easy. I want everything from Sade. I want I want all albums, all stems, everything. I mean, yeah, her band is one of the funkiest bands ever, and their earlier stuff is real jazzy. A lot of horns in there, saxophones. It's sultry. There's so much you could do with that. You know what I mean?
Who you got, Joe? Anybody?
Off the top of my head, probably one of my favorite producers, Isaac Hayes. Not just as an artist, but also as a producer and writer. A lot of the stuff he did for Stax. So if I pick him, I'm picking him as a writer and a producer as well. So that's like most of the Stax catalog as well. So
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, because I was thinking Leon Ware, and it's funny you said Isaac Hayes. That's dope. Leon Ware is also fire.
I love how much synergy this conversation has.
And one bonus, a lot of people think that like they just hear their music and think that it's just beach music. The Beach Boys, like
The Beach Boys, yeah.
Bro, the Pet Sounds, that album, insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was they tripped in psychedelic they tripped
I can make some heat
psychedelic
with
path.
with that library, 100%.
No doubt.
The
It's
voices,
expensive.
I like to use voices in my beats and stuff, bro. All them oohs and ahs, yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive, but definitely dope. Very expensive.
That's why you gotta buy the whole catalog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I like to do this segment on my show called The Big Playback, where I ask artists to give me the name of an underappreciated album or artist that they just want to shine a light on, or just a thing that they think deserves a little bit more appreciation? I usually prep the guests for this ahead of time, but I completely forgot. I forgot the question. So if you guys have anything that you want people to like focus on, like it could be from your catalog or just be something you think from a friend's catalog that deserves a little shine, you know, A1, you got anybody?
Yeah, for sure. Tiff the Gift, man. Her catalog is pristine. It's not a lot there, but she's an elite MC. And I think that she needs to hear that. People go out and listen to her. James Gunn, she made his playlist, and I'm like, damn, James Gunn is listening to you. He ain't even listening to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, she pops out in and out here and there, but she's one of the artists that doesn't have a bunch of music, but the music that she made is really incredible. And I think people need to go check some of her work out.
Cool. Tiff the Gift, I'm familiar. Y'all need to get familiar. Yo, Joe, what you got?
Shameless plug. Von P and the other guys, Put Your Weight on It.
Put Your Weight on It.
Yep. Check that out. We spent that album took a couple of years, but we put our heart and soul in that album. Very proud of that album. Get that a spin.
Yeah, I'm on that album a couple of times, and I was very pleased to hear Skyzoo pop up on the record that I was on.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's by and far my favorite Von P Other Guys album.
I appreciate that, man.
I think you guys
a lot
every
of people
time
talk about the fiasco so much, but yeah, I'm glad. Thank you.
The fiasco's dope, but I feel like every time you guys come out, you one up yourself. So definitely check out Put Your Weight on It. Awon, Joe, thank you guys so much for joining me on the show, man. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you having us,
bro.
for real, bro. Seriously.
Boom, boom. Yo. I don't got no water in the booth. I need water. Yo.
The Almanac of Rap is created and hosted by Donwill. Executive producers are Donwill, Aisha Sese, and Travis Harris. The show is produced by Kobe Bafor. The show's associate producers are Brianna Harris, Tiara Jackson, and Javon Stevenson. The production coordinator is Bianca Ortiz. Audience development is handled by Hassan Spruill and Ashawn McCullen. Ad ops and audio marketing strategy is handled by Fabian Mickens. The show is directed by Travis Harris. Video editing was done by Kobe Bafor. Our social media producers are Taylor McGee and Michael Mays Jr. This episode of the show was written by Donwill. Art direction for the show was handled by Kaushik Kaladindi. Graphic design was done by Jefferson Harris. The show's camera operators are Travis Harris, Kobe Bafor, Trigger Bowden, and Compton Timberwolf. Compton's also our technical director and audio engineer. The show's theme music was provided by Donwill, with additional production in each episode by Von P. Donwill also doesn't think that speaking about himself in the third person is that weird anymore, which is honestly pretty weird. And that's it for this week. If you got any comments, questions, or compliments, call me at 877-DON-WILL. All right, see you guys next time on the Almanac of Rap.